Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Alexa and today it'll be the Dis-Vengers Eliminating Contestants edition, which is the final installment in the 1 year anniversary special trilogy, quadrilogy, I don't know anymore. Anyways, before this begins, a few things to note. The background footage is owned by Odd Cartoons and not by me. However, I also used a lot of scene packs in this video. The creators of those scene packs will be credited in the description. As well, thank you so much to Iconic Lee for creating the idea for this video. 9 contestants that will be in this video are James, Lake, Miriam, Hunter, Fiore, Ellie, Tess, Tom, and Ashley. Alrighty, without further delay, let's get right into this, starting off with James.
Well, Emily, we've been enjoying every moment. You know, Aiden loves to travel.
When it came to James' design, he was easily one of the hardest in this entire video. I had literally no clue what to do with him, whether that be the costume or the power set either. But then I thought, why would James become a superhero? And in the end, the reason instantly came to me. It would be because of Aiden. Aiden helped James change to become a better person, so if he was ever going to be a superhero in any kind, it would be because of Aiden. So I decided to run with that idea for both the power and the overall costume inspiration. The power teleportation reminds me a lot of super speed because in the end, Aiden was speed running, or rather quote-unquote teleporting to the locations he wanted to be at. Therefore, I decided to use teleportation as to inspire from there. As well, as you can see on the design, I added Aiden's cross little earring to add flair there and also to reference Aiden. As well, I just added little gloves and lines everywhere to add details to the design. I decided on boots because I thought that would be a nice contrast and also love boots and superhero costumes. As you can see here, I originally planned on a yellow color scheme, but it wasn't working, so I got annoyed. I eventually came on a black and white grayscale color scheme because I viewed that as allowing the pictures to stand out. If you're wondering what the chain with the pictures on the bottom was for, it was meant to draw the backgrounds of the favorite places or the favorite memories from season 2 of James and Aiden. Basically referencing Jaden in every way possible in this. As well, it's like his favorite locations he could teleport to. He could like click there and teleport to them. Before you ask why Jaden, because I need to theme it, I think I've explained that pretty well here. So that was the goal. And then in the end, it didn't really stand out because the colors on the background aren't bright enough to stand out against the dark gray. I got a little annoyed there, but I still think the point comes across. And this was the final design. I did not expect to like James one as much as I did. I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna end bad. But in the end, I think it actually turned out pretty well. I kind of wish you could see the backgrounds more and it contrasted a bit more, but I feel like that's more of a me problem than anything else. And let's just move right on to Lake.
The pleasure is mine. Thanks for the support. Although that book wouldn't have been a success without Tess's illustrations.
Came to Lake, she was one I was really excited for. In fact, she was one of the first I did concept art for and also began drawing. But in the end, I had a hard time figuring out what her power would be, because honestly, I think Lake would be happy to receive any power or have any power. So that's when I decided to think outside the box. Butterflies. This entire costume, as you can see on screen, is inspired by butterflies. Now, why butterflies specifically? Butterflies go through an idea of metamorphosis, being stuck in a cocoon for weeks until they finally get out of that cocoon and spread their wings. That sort of reminded me of Lake's story in season 2. She started off as sheltered because of her parents' control and was able to grow, or rather fly out of that shell and flap her wings might not be the right word, but she was able to grow out of there and become her own person and just be really happy, as shown in Disventure Camp All-Stars. So that's what I decided to inspire this entire design on. Therefore, her power is flight. She uses the added butterfly wings on her costume to fly around. As well, I hand drew every little dot, every little detail on the butterfly wings. That took hours, that took forever, so I hope it looks good there. As well, I added this little vine going down her arms because I thought it added just a nice cute little detail. And I liked adding the gloves because I thought it looked cool. I don't know. I added a butterfly charm into her hair instead of a flower charm to continue to add onto the butterfly aesthetic. I also added a butterfly earring because, I don't know, I also thought that looked cool when I saw it on Pinterest looking for butterfly inspiration. So yeah. Ultimately, I also liked having the idea of a skirt because I thought it just added to the flowiness of it. I ultimately also decided to change Lake's hair color to the blue to match it better because I once saw this greeting. It was Blake was dressed as an anime character of some kind. I have no clue how to pronounce an anime character's name, so I'm not gonna try because I do not want to butcher more names. But I decided to change the entire hair color scheme as well to match the overall costume vibe. I decided on a blue and black color scheme because I thought that blue is really pretty and I wanted to give some piggyback into here. I don't know, I guess I was sort of inspired by piggyback for the color scheme. Take with that what you will, and here is the final design. I adore this one so much. I love just everything on it personally. The butterfly wings I think stand out perfectly. Maybe that's just me talking through my hours of effort being like, it has to look good, it will look good. And then I love like the added butterfly details on the shoes that I added. I don't know. I just adore this design. Now moving on to Miriam.
I didn't drag my geriatric all the way out here just to turn back.
Miriam was one I was extremely worried for since the beginning, since I had no clue what I was going to do with her. But then I was doing some final concept art, working on final designs for a lot of them, and I decided to binge the Hunger Games movies since my friends had recommended it to me. To those friends, you are a lifesaver for this design specifically, as I decided to inspire this entire design on Katniss Everdeen in the first of the 74th Hunger Games. Why? Because I thought it fit, especially since it's revealed that Miriam is an archer in episode 10 season 1, and plus I think she would like to be a healer in some kind, so I decided to use all that and use it to inspire this. In the 74th Hunger Games, Katniss saves Peeta by going to get the healing medicine that he needs to stay alive, and she runs to risk it. That is how healing came to be for Miriam, as I think it fits her as well, and I do think she'd risk her life to heal, say, Jake. She'd be willing to do that. The bow and arrows are shown in the back, but are also inspired by Katniss Everdeen, but also the fact that Miriam used to be an archer, so she would be able to have her enhanced ability to be able to aim those arrows, so she can use it to heal. So she has to shoot people to be able to heal them. Peak logic I'm using here, kind of like a Cupid inspiration in a sense. When it came to doing her clothing design, I just decided to go wild with that as well. I decided to give her boots, give her gloves, because why not? I think it looks cool, as well as make sure that there was a gold and brown color scheme. I thought it would be really cool and also looked kind of like, not that much like Katniss Everdeen, but I feel like the gold and brown give it to a more medieval, more older feel, which I think I really needed to aim with Miriam specifically, since, you know, she's the oldest confirmed cast member in the entire Contestant series. I'm not sure how old Marcus is, so that could definitely be beat in terms of the entire cast. But in the end, this is her finished design. Miriam was one I had like no expectations for, none high expectations, and I'm honestly happy with how this turned out. And in the end, Hunger Games saved me on this one. Moving on to Hunter.
Yes, especially after Allie and I became public about our relationship.
Came to Hunter, I wanted to have at least one funny thing in this video, whether that be more jokes, whether that be a costume itself. I wanted to have something funny. So Hunter was the person that ultimately, well, not person, character, that eventually got decided for this. In the end, I think Hunter's power would be enhanced charm. I mean, we've all seen season 2 at this point, well, at least most of us watching, right? To where he managed to pull Tess and Ellie into a love triangle. That's sort of impressive. So to me, he would want enhanced charm to even enhance that ability even more. Additionally, you might be noticing, Hunter isn't getting his costume on. Well, that's simply because he doesn't have a costume. Remember in Alec, in the original series, in the original, episode 13, he doesn't have a costume because he thought the quirks were stupid. For me, I think Hunter here wouldn't have a costume, because does he really need a costume for enhanced charm? He can literally just be his normal self, except with more, and I think it'd be even funnier because he's a video game nerd, which is not meant to be an insult, by the way. He would want to have, a super cool superhero costume, but in the end, he doesn't even get it because the power he wants doesn't really require it, and they don't want to use the budget on making Hunter a costume. I don't know, I think that's extremely funny to me. If it's not funny to you, alright. As well, here's the final design. This design, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into making this beautiful, wonderful, 10 out of 10, amazing, fantastic design. Every little intricate detail on Hunter's design here was totally planned out by me, and I totally did all of this, and it's totally the best design in this video. Okay, enough sarcasm, let's move right on to Fior.
That's a child!
And that's an ugly pimply bit!
When it came to Fior, she was one I actually knew what to do with. I knew what I needed to do with her, whether that be her power or her costume, and I decided to run with it. Starting off with her power is power absorption, and do I really need to explain why she got this? Her stealing powers, I don't think I need to explain. because she'd absolutely do that, and I think she'd wreak havoc on everyone else here. I don't think many people could really beat here, because power absorption is one of the most OP powers out there, and I easily think she'd do incredible with it. But moving on to the costume, as you can see, she has something a lot more just spikes, a lot more ripped items. Like, a lot of things are ripped, because to me it means she's ripping the people's powers away. She's ripping, when she steals the power, she's ripping them away from their magical power. So when she rips it away, that's what the rips on her design are meant to show. As well, you can see that she also has a little bit of a different color hair streak. I decided to add that to where it glows when she's stealing powers, so it's more obvious when she's stealing her powers, because not just her little kitty thing, which I'll explain in a second, glows. Speaking of which, that kitty thing is meant to reference her pajamas, bathing suit, etc., etc. It's meant to reference how she usually has little animals on her little other outfits, so I want to reference that. Additionally, I decided to go for a more worn color scheme because I thought it added to the fact that this has a lot of like fire elements. I don't know. I think it would be a lot more like fire inspired. I went for that because I mean it's Fior. Fire spreads quickly and destroys quickly, and like she did in season 1, she spread her manipulation skills quickly to the rest of the cast, and so she was able to have all the cast on her side at one point until they just exposed her in the merge, which honestly unfair to Fiore, but it made it a more fun TV show to a point. So I guess there's that. And here's the final design. And this is the final design for Fiore. I also wanted to mention how I have personal headcanon. The first power she steals is Hunters, because literally no one would notice, and she wants to get revenge on him for how they've had this rivalry, and I think it'd be kind of funny. I don't know. Moving on to Ellie.
She's twisted. If that happens again, I'm letting her go towards the light.
When it came to Ellie, I honestly had no clue what to do with her. Like, I was excited, of course, because it's Ellie. She's my favorite character, but I honestly had no clue what to do with her. So then I decided to go outside the box again. Ellie wishes she was out of poverty. Ellie wishes she wasn't broke. So I decided to run with that idea by making her power and overall costume inspired by wishes. Then her power is mind control, though. So how was that inspired by wishes, you may ask? Mind control is where the user gets the person to do what they want by mind controlling. Sense. So my idea is that mind control is basically getting the person to do what you wish they would do. Like, say Ellie mind controlled Jake. She's getting him to do what she wishes he would do. And I decided to run with that, and also mind control was confirmed and agreeing to be the power Ellie would have chosen. I felt so validated and so happy when I saw that, because I'm like, yes, I don't have to redo anything for this. As well, I added a star pin in her hair to continue showing the wishes, because when I think of wishes, I think wishing stars. So I had to roll with that idea. I added yellow highlights into her hair to just add more flair, as well as the flowy sleeves reminding me more of like soft stars. The chains on the bottom of her legs are meant to show something I found on Pinterest because I thought it was really cool, as well as also show aspects of her character and costume, or people she knows, in a sense. So the stars are obviously meant to continue the costume's star overall theme, and the ladybugs, as shown in the red circles, are meant to show her hatred for Jake and show the reference to how Jake's outfit literally looks so similar to Miraculous Ladybug. And honestly, he looks so similar to Marinette. I don't know why. Why is this the case? As well, the cyan little bows are meant to represent how she was on the cyan team in terms of Disventure Camp All-Stars, but also reference Gabby's little bow, because of course I need to throw in a Gabby reference. And speaking of Gabby references, the ladybugs also reference Gabby's love for animals. And without further delay, the full design might be my Ellie bias, but I overall love this design so much. And now we're gonna move right on to Tess.
No, I was stuck in New York's lovely traffic.
Oh my gosh!
When it came to Tess, she was another one that I instantly really knew what I wanted to do with her power and costume type design. So when it came to her, I'm like, she'll just draw everything she wants to life. So that's the power I went for her, since Tess is known to be an artist. So I decided, when it comes to art, what I think when I think of art, I think rainbow colors, I think wild lines, I think imagination soars, because art can be anything you want it to be. Art is just everything and anything at the same time. So I ran wild with that concept and just went wild with everything here. I gave splatters of different colors of paint that she would use in her hair to give it just this rainbow and wild feel. I gave her a drawing glove because a lot of art, even me personally, I've used a drawing glove in the past, and I would use it to help me keep my lines straight. I used it a lot back in the day. I don't use it much anymore, but my point is, I would use it, so I decided to add it onto her. I also added to where she has her little tablet, having like this Velcro thing around her knee, so if she just wants to run or go places, she doesn't have to hold her tablet in her hand. Place it there, and she can also just draw. I also put her little pencil that she would use to draw things to life right behind her ear, because so many artists I've met and seen in real life, they always have pencils on their ears every single time. I don't understand, because I don't do it myself, or my friends don't even understand it either, but it's just kind of cool. And I also really just went rainbow colors. Everything here has just paint splatters, random lines, just random everything. I also added a fanny pack so she could hold any extra art supplies she would want to use. Like if she wanted to make it more detailed, maybe there's like some paint that specifically works for the tablet, etc., etc., so she would wear the fanny pack. And in any case, this is the final design. So this is the final design. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I think it gets the point of art I was trying to get across, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna move on to the abstract design.
Darn tootin'. I mean, don't get me wrong. What you said hurt Ellie.
To Ashley, I was just like, okay, whatever comes to first to mind, we're just gonna do that and run with it. I really was like, oh dang, we gotta do Ashley too! So, when it came to her power, I decided on plant manipulation, because she has a farm with her parents, she knows how to go around the forest, she knows how to catch animals, she knows how to take care of animals, etc., etc., etc. She knows all these things because she's on the farm, so I'd guess she'd want to control the plants, because she could also save the farm and get the crops back up with plant manipulation, because remember, the question was like, what power would you want to have if you could choose, you know what I mean? I decided for the plant design, I would continue keeping her hat because it's iconic, and I would just kind of switch it, because something with Ashley that always happens with every single one of her new outfits, her hat's little band around would switch. Like for instance, her bathing suits and swimsuit and All-Stars, it would change to pink every time, and I think that's a really cool detail. So yeah, go Ashley for that. But also I decided to give her a little skirt. I don't know, every single like plant related fit I found, she was wearing, or the person wearing it was wearing a skirt of some kind with some leggings underneath, and I decided to also roll with that. I decided to give her vines that went around her arms, her hair, I tried doing her hair, but the green looked off, so I decided to just switch it to normal highlights and moved on. I think it could have been a cool idea if it worked though, just like a vine that went all around her outfit, because to me, vines also represent plants, and also it's a cool reference. I also added flowers because I don't know, flowers are pretty. I also decided to add on just a little bit of a belt because it added some cool design and did a bit more flair on here, because I was like, this cannot be a plant design. A lot of this is more like leaves, plant references, etc., etc. As well, I decided to add little flowers onto her little heels because I thought it would be cool, just cute. And here's the full design. Ultimately, I think it turned out somewhat decent. I personally like it. I don't know, I think it's cool. But moving on to the final design, Tom.
Oh, sorry. Met a familiar face at TSA. We were officers in training together and—
Did I ask?
When it came to Tom, part of me is like, why am I even doing this? Because for the power I selected invisibility, I'll talk about why in a second, people have already created Gladiator Tom, and I think that better encapsulates basically what the costume would need to be than anything I could ever come up with, than anything I could do here. But then so I was just thinking, what if I just credit the person who created that and move on? And I'm like, no, I need to make something original. I already did something similar when it came to Hunter. So I'm just like, ugh, and so I tried to make something at least decent. I don't think it's anywhere close to Gladiator Tom, honestly. I think that's peak costume design, but regardless, I chose invisibility as his power because to me, that's what he would choose, because he wants to be somewhat like strong, he would be able to block all the attacks he would need. I just think that's the power he would choose ultimately. I think it fits Tom as a character, and it just works, you know what I mean? So when it came to his costume, I kind of just decided to just kind of go a bit wild with it. I added a lot of stuff for flair, and I also originally added swords because like I thought it'd be cool if he just would pull out swords and fight people. I don't know what I was really thinking about this design because I made it really, really late at night and I was so tired and so done with everything too. So I think that might come across in the design. I decided to make it with his original like teal black color scheme, which is, this is like the only costume to do that because I think it makes it look like a cool spy outfit. I don't know, which gives us to the final design. I don't even know my opinion on it. I think it shows that it was late at night, I was tired, and I'm like, there's another design that's already really good that could easily be used for this. So, in the end, let's just move right on to the conclusion.
That's a child.
And that's an ugly, pimply bitch.
When it came to this video, I had an absolute blast making it. So some of the designs aren't top tier and they aren't perfect. I had a lot of fun and that's what really matters, right? Thank you so much for checking out this video. And what were your personal favorite designs? I would love to read in the comments down below. Thanks so much again for watching and I hope you have an awesome day/night. Bye everybody!